I still remember the Phelps Olympics.
Yeah, that was extraordinary.
You're right. That was
wild.
That became a thing.
Are you talking about the entire Olympics or just his?
No, it was the.
He was the Olympics at that time.
It was the China one, so 2008.
I think it was when he just ran through
Shanghai or
everybody.
something.
Yeah,
and it became
China one.
It became a thing. Like, yo, are you gonna watch the next swimming event? Let's see if this guy can actually get another gold medal.
Because he was whooping.
He was a fish. He's very much a fish.
And he ate like 7,000 calories a day, and I was jealous.
I mean,
his wingspan was wild,
and it's just the way he like managed to really win every single race.
Yeah, when you have that kind of wingspan, like a bird, like a hawk, you can win this.
But what's your favorite Olympic sports, guys?
None.
What do you mean none?
To
be honest, I only care about
what's
the
your
opening
favorite Olympic sport,
I mean,
Shamsi?
I have a list of.
No. What's your favorite?
Shuf, I liked fencing.
Okay, you don't.
I used to like fencing,
you don't.
and I actually got into fencing.
What
when I
was
was-
her fencing?
Huh?
I look. The thing, you know why I didn't say that? Because I know who it is.
Okay.
But anyway,
I know who it is too.
give me the rules of fencing.
I
The
know
rules
it
of
is too.
fencing,
You
you need to put
stab.
You need to put a mask on.
Okay.
Okay. There's a bunch of French words you need to learn.
No.
Okay.
En garde.
En garde is one of them. There you go. Okay. And then when you hit somebody, to say like touche or something. Literally, that's where it comes
You
from.
don't say,
I mean, that's not a word. Okay. That's a grunt. No, but I actually did fencing when I was younger.
this kid did everything.
In my younger days.
You are so full of shit.
I did. Bro, I still have the fencing stuff at home.
How long did you do fencing for?
Couple of weeks.
So you didn't do
That
fencing.
doesn't count.
You didn't do fencing.
Man, I got the stance and the form, just not the skills.
It's like me going to a concert and not being able to get in. So yeah, man, I've been to the concert. It was wild.
Yeah, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean?
That's exactly what you did.
I was in the fencing class.
No, you were not.
I got touched.
2 weeks. This guy's got what?
I got touched.
You should report that.
I mean, it was training, so it was fine. It's like sparring, guys. But
It's like sparring.
it is actually sparring. لا بس I feel like looking now at the list of Olympic sports damn, there's a lot of expansion, I feel.
Sorry. Hey, welcome back to Kabsa. I'm losing myself here.
صح.
What's happened? What's popping? Episode 269.
Nice.
Nice. That's your boy Adil. I got the homie Shams right next to me.
Yo.
Turks right behind me. Number one is back in the building from
I
his
have
death.
heartburn.
Hi guys.
Hi.
So we're gonna be upbeat about this, or we all gonna be just like, yo, it's
Just
1 in the morning?
let him tell us
Okay,
about the whole
so-
build-up
Because
thing
we got a
going.
lot of topics.
So
to go through.
are you familiar with modern pentathlon?
Well,
You know we're not.
Okay, what does that sound like? What comes to mind when I say that?
5 things.
Okay, حلو, smart man. What are these 5 things?
Sports.
It's the ultimate 5 things for a modern athlete to do, to show the range of skills.
Punch kick.
Climbing.
But the rest moves there.
Punch kick, okay. Climbing, and
Swimming? I don't know.
swimming is one.
Of course.
Freestyle swimming
I'm the
is
only
one.
logical one here.
Okay, freestyle swimming is one.
Shoot bang.
What?
Shoot bang.
Pistol shooting is another one. Did you
Seriously?
mean that? Shoot bang. Okay. Cross country running is the third one. That's obvious.
Skiing.
Equestrian show jumping. Okay.
What?
And fencing.
Hold on. So all the sports.
No. You need to learn how to
This
use a
is-
sword. You need to learn how to use a horse. You need to learn how to run and swim.
This is for one person.
This is one sport.
Okay,
yeah.
more
What
specific.
what
Okay.
medieval
And
king
And
designed
pistol,
this
and pistol
competition?
shooting. No, I think these are all the skills a modern man would need.
This
You
is
know, you
no.
learn- no.
This is a video
Shoot,
game
stab,
tutorial,
kick.
my guy.
And
This
swim.
is not sports. I'm sorry.
No, honestly, this is. I was just looking at these sports. And I'm like, some of these don't make sense.
How did they change so quickly?
They don't. They don't.
لا يوقف.
With the swim shorts on, just shooting pistols.
And riding horses
Swimming. Taking shots while he's swimming.
with the horse.
Like I'm like, what? Like check out this breaststroke. Gak gak gak.
I think you get options. Yeah, and you get different days of doing different activities. I think that's how that
Different
works.
days. That's not one sport then.
It's one
And just-
sport. It's one category.
It's
of
one
sports.
category. It's like the Iron Man competition, whatever it is.
Exactly. There
You
we go.
gotta swim, you gotta run, you gotta ride a bike.
Then don't call it the whatever.
Modern pentathlon.
Yeah, don't call it that.
I mean, I'm
But
pretty
it is
sure.
a pentathlon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a pre-modern pentathlon.
Whenever I hear Talon,
It was called survival.
And see the fact that there's a horse in swimming, that tells you that hey, they made someone like really escape an island or some shit. I don't know.
whenever it ends with athlon, it's got to be like sequential على طول يعني.
First off, your obesity is talking here.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
Right?
moving.
Yeah.
I'm not doing shit. I
You
know.
get a sport
I
where
know.
I do less movement.
You're like Osako, the Japanese guy we just saw lose. Like,
Oh.
there's the triathlon, which is
Yeah.
What is the triathlon? I think that's the running, jumping, and
Cycling.
Cycling.
They don't jump. No.
They do that.
Hooray!
You run, you cycle, you swim. ورا بعض.
You run, you cycle, you swim. Okay, yeah, that's much easier than the modern pentathlon.
So when is the Olympics happening? So we can move this forward.
Starting on July 24th, they also added skateboarding, which is interesting, and breaking.
Yes.
So breakdancing, that's going to be new.
Fabian's going to be there, by the way.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Representing Indonesia?
Indonesia, basically.
Okay, nice.
Who else is going to represent?
Nice.
Yeah.
Volleyball, trampoline gymnastics, table tennis. Is that new?
That's
No,
been-
that's
No,
not.
that's
This
been.
is
that's
always
been-
Remember
been
the Chinese whooping ass on that board?
table
Have you
tennis.
not seen Forrest Gump?
صح.
صح, he played the Olympics. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Very accurate movie,
Rhythmic
yeah.
rhythmic gymnastics.
That's just beatboxing, most likely.
Rhythmic gymnastics. No, isn't that the one with the flag?
I don't know.
They have a flag thing. They dance with the flag.
Baton.
But it's not a baton. It's like it's a twirly thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know the twirly thing?
Twirly baton.
It's what you use at home when we're not watching you.
The twirly thing?
Yes. If that's what you want to call it.
I don't think that's what we're talking about, but okay. Okay, cycling. I have an issue with the amount of cycling sports here.
Oh,
صراحة.
no.
Call the Olympics.
Okay, no, for real. As a man who doesn't know how to ride a bike,
Exactly.
okay, I am
Why are you complaining?
I am triggered by the fact that there are 5 individual cycling sports: track, road, mountain bike, BMX, and freestyle.
All the 5 food groups.
So you're triggered that he can't do any of those?
No,
That's why you're triggered?
no.
Champs, you can't do fencing, you can't
Yeah,
swim.
there's a
either.
lot.
Malik, I
There's
can
a lot of
you
things
I
you
can
can't
touche
do.
you, but
You can't
Malik,
touche
I will
nothing,
touche you. Don't worry.
I will
Okay.
touche you.
Sounds like a threat.
But the cycling.
Touche.
A very mild threat. It was,
No, it's just too many bicycles. صراحة. Canoe sprint. What is a canoe sprint? Do they run and then get in the canoe?
I think the canoe fast.
You're the one with the list. You're
And then
supposed to give us the definition.
And there's canoe slalom. I'm not going to look up.
Are
all
we
of
going to go
these.
through the whole thing or should we can move forward?
No,
I mean,
I'm
what are you
just
trying to
trying
talk?
to- I'm trying to-
Okay, it's the Olympics. They're doing Olympic things.
Yeah.
I'm
What
trying
else?
to figure out my favorite one. بس خلاص.
You don't have no favorites because you don't know nothing about it, son.
I think it's going to be skateboarding this
I
year.
mean, when he meets a
He
sport,
never skated in his
I want to see
when
an
he
Olympic
needs
skateboarder. I want to see what it looks like.
when he meets a sporty one, he'll be into Olympics.
يلبسون طواقي.
What do you mean? Like safety? Helmets?
Yeah, helmets, exactly.
Yeah,
They're
It's
not
called
Tony Hawk.
regulation.
Even Tony Hawk wears like
Okay, I'm
a
just
safety
asking,
helmet. What are you
bro.
talking
and he's a
about?
bird.
But this is gonna be like one of those performance art Olympic things, right?
No.
Not measured.
I mean, of course it's measured. There's judges and everything.
so-
Yeah,
Olympics.
so it's measured by performance. So
By-
there's like 3 judges holding up signs like 10,
5.
9.
I don't know if they still hold up signs, but
But yeah, you get the
Yeah.
it's not a 0.01 meter jump kind of thing.
I have no idea how it's gonna work, honestly.
It's the same as any skateboard competition.
Yeah.
I don't vibe with
It's
this.
not a race.
0.5.
Yeah, I agree with you. Give me just a normal scale number. Let's just get the 10.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And how actually can you evaluate a qualitative thing? With boxing, you have points, track, fastest guy.
Yeah, this is vibes.
Exactly.
This
No,
is
the
vibes.
point is the vibes.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not gonna give you a 10, but I see it's a 9, but it should be a
0.6.
10. You know, I'll just give
Yeah,
you.
but different judges are gonna judge on different criteria, or do they give them the same criteria to judge on? Like some people
لا
مثلا
يا شيخ انت احكي مع زي ما تبي.
لا بس
What are you
بس
talking
قصدي
about?
some judges will prioritize مثلا
No.
the creativity of the move rather than execution.
No.
Criteria or not, it's
Standardized.
still subjective.
You know, that's what I'm
It's still
saying.
subjective,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
That's why there's a criteria. Have you done these things?
So you-
Then
yes.
you go on the
But some
so
people
you don't free think.
No, not free thinking, but I might place more weight on one element rather than another compared to another judge, for example. You know?
No, you have 5 criterias. You rate them at a certain thing, and you just rate and you go down. This. You don't say, "Oh, this is the most important thing."
Yeah,
Bless
I'm
you.
just asking.
Each of those 5 criteria, it's still subjective.
Yes.
How depends on the sport, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
What are you talking about
I
now?
mean, combat sports is kind of infamous for vibes-based criteria.
Super vibes.
Yeah, that's why they say don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
Explain that more a little bit, please.
Basically, go for a KO, knock that guy out.
Okay.
So nobody has to think about points.
But let's be honest, when it comes to combat sport, the reason why they're always very picky about these things, they don't want to go back to the judges because there's a lot of people betting.
True.
betting has forced sports to do a lot of things they never want to do. So now you say, yo, I'm gonna make this bet on this athlete to win, but you tell me into Adil and Shamsi's hands, and me and him are vibing with one fighter than the other one. We're gonna ruin it for everybody.
Exactly.
Irtisha. Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's not Irtisha.
No,
It has to do with Irtisha.
It's called betting.
No, but so we talk about the idea that because you're leaving a subjective thing in
Oh,
someone's
if
opinion.
we're talking about the Olympics being corrupt, then
No, I'm not talking about the Olympics.
Talk about the judging part.
Yeah, the judging part,
Yeah.
basically.
The idea
That
for
you
the
can
Olympics,
influence judges basically to
You try to avoid that. You try to make sure the judge doesn't go off vibes.
yes.
by limiting the scale of
Exactly.
the
Oh,
criteria.
this person is asleep. He definitely lost.
This person fell on his head. He shouldn't really do this anymore.
You know what time it is, right? You know what we're doing right now.
I forgot.
I knew it. I knew it was NBL.
Buy NBL.
I love how he does it on point, basically.
No, because every day we're talking around like 2 a.m.
I forgot.
So
What are you guys talking about at 2 a.m?
Do you want me to go really fucked up and just
No,
ruin
no,
this
no,
whole
no,
podcast
I'm-
for you?
I'm-
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Oh, you want me to move
I'm
on?
sorry for asking. Khalas.
That's what I thought. That's what I
I
thought.
don't want to know.
That's what I thought. I'll ruin your day.
So moving on.
Anyway, moving on. No, actually, let's not move on because France did a French thing.
Another one?
Okay.
France has banned its female athletes,
Oh, yeah,
Muslim
I saw
women,
this.
from wearing the hijab while competing in the upcoming Olympics and Paralympics. In Paris.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because they're French.
Just the French.
Because they're very
they're French.
inclusive.
Because no, this is inclusivity, Turks. You're just not
Yeah.
getting it. This is
Yeah.
inclusivity the French way. I'm making sure that you don't feel proud in your own skin. I'm making sure that, I'm taking away part of your identity to make you more French. That's basically what
I mean,
Stupid.
it's the most French thing is racism and cigarettes and coffee. Those are the three things.
No, but we're not surprised by this, are we?
No.
Like, we're really not surprised by this.
no.
Every single year, there's a new ban on hijab. Swimming pool, beach, public street,
But
parking.
the fact that they waited up until the start of the Olympics to announce this, طب يا أخي, do it من قبل and let people make their decision if they want to pull out or not. Man,
Well, that's the thing.
It's politics.
If you're a Muslim country, we have no problem with you. But if you're French, we have a problem.
Yeah, I'm talking about the French athletes who would have a problem with this,
Oh,
Because,
your opinion doesn't matter. It's France.
I thought this was,
No.
a free-thinking society.
No.
I
You
can
never
have my-
thought that. You know exactly who we were.
Yeah.
You know exactly what we're down
I
with.
can't have my own
We're never
thoughts.
gonna. You know that you never have thoughts. That's why we riot.
This is égalité, Abu Abdul. This is égalité. The right for us to treat you all like shit, basically.
Which is the French way.
Which is the French way, basically, yeah. Which is the French way.
Do we get angry at France anymore, or we're just like, yo, thank you for just being honest about being who you are?
I mean, honestly,
It's
no.
expected.
I'm not even gonna say thank you. I'm not even gonna say thank you. But
Why?
see, I'm not gonna be surprised by anything that comes out of there because the trend that they have been following for a while is clear. It's stamping on individual religious liberty and identity has been part of the French playbook for 20 years now, 20 plus years almost.
I'd say 30 plus at this point. It's like they woke up and Algerians,
No, so more than that, basically.
Moroccans. I'm like, different people now, not melanin having people.
No, it's the idea that multiculturalism is a great idea when we're all white. And when we stop, it's a
you
great
s-
idea. Yeah, we can all be multicultural if we're all Christian and blonde and have blue eyes.
You say that, but historically, these people have been killing each other for like. Actually, you're not the exact shade of mayonnaise that I like.
Yeah, but so we're talking about the modern EU conception of hey, we're all one big happy European family.
Yeah, no, that's never been a thing. They've always hated each other.
And now they hate it. Now they hate it. They have more reason to keep that hate going on when they see us, and they have something to combine their hate on. Honestly, basically.
Well, speaking of keeping it negative, there's a lot of negative conversations that have been had this whole week. Where do I want to start? We have the Trump assassination. We have ISIS is back again.
What?
Yeah, and
ISIS is back.
When did that happen?
Don't tell a friend.
Okay, don't tell anybody, bro. This is not news that anybody wants to hear.
Don't call it a comeback.
Microsoft scraps DEI. We have the internet shutting down.
Okay.
Like, where do y'all want to go?
Internet shutting down.
For this is okay. So this is gonna be like our last episode for a while because we're all like vibing, right? So
But the amount of
going with
content
the-
coming out.
We've been
So
giving
much
content,
negativity that we give out before we bounce. All right, so where should we start in our negative world?
Let me start with the
ISIS is back again.
what the fuck?
ISIS is back.
Yeah,
up to the
What's
front?
happening? What's happening there?
There's this country called Oman, and ISIS said, "Nah, I'm gonna wreck some shit there."
The hell?
Yeah,
Why?
out of nowhere.
What happened?
It was during Ashura, and someone walked into a mosque
Yeah,
and shot up the mosque, killing I think 3 people.
I think it was quite a big number, but I don't remember.
I don't remember how many, but I know people were 4 killed actually. I remember I just wrote it down right here. At the time when I saw it, I don't know what it is right now, but it was 4 killed. And then everyone was like, "Yo," especially like for us, like Oman.
The white Oman.
Thank you. Like, yo, why is Oman? It's
I would
exactly that.
imagine Oman to be a very stable, relatively stable country compared to the rest of the country of the
Exactly.
region. Yeah.
And then out of the blue, ISIS posted a video of the same guy that was shooting up the mosque, basically saying, "Yo, we are one.
We out here.
Well, we outside." Not only did ISIS say we outside, like I know.
What are they trying to get out of this, basically? Like, well,
Well, look. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories that we're going to throw out throughout this whole episode. I just want to know if we're all down for conspiracy theories.
we've
Damn.
been. Have you listened to this podcast
Because this might be a long
What-
episode.
What do you mean? We're Arabs.
All right. We have to set the mood when we do our conspiracy theories. All right. So let's just
Boo,
the
boo,
light.
boo, boo.
This is our
Conspiracy mode. Okay.
so no one can tell,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
if they hear us.
You don't see
Voice
us.
modulator.
I want the squeaky one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conspiracies.
How about we do this one? Oh, wait, where is it?
Don't tell me Alvin.
Conspiracies.
The conspiracy theories of past the Kabsa.
Step right.
Anyway, so we all do really believe that
Hey.
ISIS came together because of Iran and the US.
The CIA, basically.
Exactly.
A very, very CIA plan.
Escalated so hard, guys.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. It's go time.
Hey.
Documented,
Okay.
my guy.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Alright,
During
okay.
the Syrian
Yeah.
civil war,
We'll
the CIA
give them
poured
just a
in.
little bit of light.
poured in incredible amounts of money, and they had, when the Podesta emails came out, they literally said, "Yeah, so these guys that we used to fight in
Calm down
Afghanistan."
before that vein pops.
Okay,
Seriously, please.
no. These guys that we used to fight in Afghanistan, yeah, we're funding them now. So Al Qaeda, the thing that we tried to eradicate the past 10 years, yeah, they're kind of our friends in Syria now. This was in 2013, 2014,
Around that time.
Yeah. So this was before ISIS came out on the map.
Yeah,
and they came out in 2015, and everybody was like, "Oh no, what is this terrible danger attacking
Exactly.
the
But
world?"
before they came out, some of them were locked up where?
Abu Ghraib,
في العراق.
Abu Ghraib, I think.
No,
The
Iran.
other one.
Okay.
All right.
Some of them.
Yes. And then Qasem Soleimani made a deal with them, said, "Hey, I want you guys to go back into Iraq and I want you to fight the Shia community." This gives us power
Legitimacy
to
to
say,
go.
"Yo, we need to come in and save our people."
And this is basically how Iran undermined Iraq during the war.
Exactly.
Or right
so
after the war.
he allowed them to kill their own people so they can look like saviors. And so we already know that from a long time ago that everybody is in bed together.
Echoes of the Germans letting Lenin go to basically leave. So Lenin in World War I basically was jailed in Germany, and the Germans said, "Hey, how about you go fuck shit up in Russia?" And guess what happened? Germans ended up getting fucked up eventually down the line.
Right? So guess what ISIS said? They said, "We have a new enemy that we're going after." Take a while to guess who it is.
Was it Hamas?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. See, exactly.
What?
See, now, like when they said that, I'm like, okay, Hamas.
Okay, explain a little bit more, please, ISIS.
Sir.
What's the mission
Sir.
statement? What's the mission statement here? Like, what are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to achieve here?
I have no idea, but yo, we always said that they're in cahoots together, and this is more proof that they're in cahoots together. Yo, this sounds like to me. Listen, we want to fuck shit up on the ground, but we all look bad. But if we allow our own terrorist self to do that shit, then we'll be like, yo, we need to come in to wipe out ISIS now.
Humanitarian intervention, yeah.
So what does the fact that you're attacking in Oman and you're saying you're targeting Hamas? I see a disconnect here.
Yeah, well, that's
You know?
always been them. They've been attacking all over the world and saying they're fighting
True.
a bunch of bullshit.
True, very true.
So now this is the vibe. So they helped them get strong, and then of course ISIS and the ISIS thing, and they just flipped on everybody. And then the US like, okay, now we have to destroy them. They got too strong, and now it's like, oh, come on, now I'm back.
I mean, honestly, it's as if the world doesn't need more shit, honestly.
I have to figure like
Let's
somebody
get-
in the
let's get
US.
some lights back in here.
Somebody in the US didn't say, this seems familiar. Surely we didn't do this before and backfired horribly.
It's not just that. This seems like the kind of thing where
It's the same playbook.
There's sleeper cells, right? And you're like, oh, I want to stir shit up now. Click C4, let's go. And it's the same playbook, as you're saying. It's the same playbook happening in different places in different times.
We're watching something that already happened before, and they're just basically calling it different.
And it's the same results. You're going to say, hey, let's fight it together. You're going to bring back US troops. You're going to create a coalition.
Yes. So the whole idea of trying to make this peaceful again, bro.
Military industrial complex. This is the play, basically. We need to stay in business.
And it's interesting that at the same time when the ICC said, "Oh, Israel, no, you are genocidal," and we do agree that what you're doing in Palestine is fucked up. You need to get the fuck out of there.
So, yeah.
During that same time, ISIS comes out.
Distraction. So a little bit of context. The International Criminal Court.
Yes.
Court of Justice.
Court of Justice, which is the highest court of the UN, gave an advisory ruling to the General Assembly when it was asked for, which basically affirmed that the occupation of Palestine that is happening since 1967 is legal.
Illegal.
And illegal.
And an apartheid.
And an apartheid, an effective on-ground apartheid, and Israel needs to pull out of all settlements and return all Palestinian land, as well as pay reparations for all Palestinians that have been forced out of the country. Yeah, none of that's going to happen. But this is the opinion of international law, and now we get to watch just how little that opinion matters when it comes to Western countries and how they enforce their law on the rest of the world.
We've been watching it for the past 9 months, so yeah, it's nice, but
They don't care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
Big Daddy.
No, we know they never cared, right? We know and that's the thing. Colonial interests will trump international norms. That's the playbook. At the end of the day, security, as it matters to them, is going to come first. Their security for their interests. But it's good to see the masks fall down. At least now, other countries across the world will no longer. When you come up to me and you say, "Hey, this is international law, international norm," I can very easily point at how you ignore it and how you dismiss it.
Oh, no, it's very obvious.
And
I've got a واحد اثنين. I mean, the US just allowing them to just do whatever they feel they're vibing with.
And it sets a precedent, honestly. Why would any other country listen to any other, at this point, why would anybody else listen to anybody else?
Well,
If there's some countries that are given exceptions and given blank checks to do whatever the fuck they want.
everything that you're saying right now has been said in after 2001.
True.
Yeah.
100 times. And there's no solution to it. And every time the Arab world tries to come close together, all of a sudden there's a new terrorist cell. All of a sudden there's a new argument. All of a sudden Iran is infiltrating everything and making everybody even fight even harder. So we go back to the same fucking cycles because we all just can't agree with each other. And since we don't want to pick one person, do you know why we can't agree? Because it's very simple. None of us want to say, "Oh, this person is the leader." All of us want to say that we are all leaders. That's the problem. That's the only issue that we have. No one wants to say, "Okay, you know what? I think for the betterment of everybody, that I should take a backseat." And then when you see
Because
other,
that makes you look weak. Right?
exactly right.
Makes you look weak.
And so when not only makes it look weak, you start doing stupid shit with your foreign affairs, right? Making stupid deals and doing stupid things that doesn't benefit the region but benefits you.
I'm independent.
Exactly. And you want me to listen to you,
I am sovereign.
right? You're doing stupid deals and you want me to right behind you. Bro, there's something much bigger than all of this. Then we need all to come together in, right? And it's just not gonna fucking
But
happen.
you're not listening about it. It's about me.
Exactly.
It's about
Exactly.
me. Okay.
And this whole like race that all the Arab countries have of trying to say we're the ones that say Palestine. What's it gonna give us at the end? Okay, you did it. So fucking what? What's after that?
The immortal glory and credit for all times.
I wrote a post on Facebook.
Did you just pause for laughter?
No. I know exactly what he's saying.
Facebook.
Yes. That crowd.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So it's the moral high horse, basically.
yeah, bro. Like, I just fuck this. I don't even want to talk about this. Anyway, we get something else. Some more bad news.
The internet broke down because of a software update.
No one asked you to move forward with this one. I'll direct this one. You
okay.
sit down and relax right there,
Sure.
sir.
Because
All
I'm
right,
just
park your
like,
bus. Park your bus.
This is an
You
interesting
just
topic
woke up,
for me.
all right? Park your bus.
Shut up, Shamsi.
Before that, I think
Oh.
which is more important, let's get into more hate. Microsoft scraps DEI.
Ha!
What is that? DEI?
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Okay.
Let me read this. I'm going to read you this from the New York Post.
So
right?
it's the pronoun mafia. Gets its
Microsoft
word.
has reportedly laid off a team devoted to diversity, equity, and inclusion after pouring millions of dollars into the initiative, becoming the latest major company to ditch the woke policy. The big tech giants disbanded the DEI team at the beginning of the month due to changing business needs, according to a July 1st email obtained by Business Insider. It is unclear how many employees were affected, right? By the way, they fired the whole team.
So we no longer need to be woke?
What are the team's responsibilities?
We'll get let me just
The
fuck your advertisement. I'm not giving you money. Anyway, the decision further signed that companies are pulling back on diversity-based initiatives that were put in place following the 2020 death of George Floyd and the subsequent Black Lives Matter protest campaigns. Last year, Google and Meta reduced the scope of the DEI programs and cut staff as part of the restructuring and layoffs of both companies, according to CNBC. On Tuesday, tractor giant John Deere announced it will shut down nearly all its DEI policies in favor of a quality-based workplace.
So خلاص, the woke train is done. It's over.
So it's all merit based now,
yes, you know whose pronouns.
regardless of your whatever.
Yeah, you know whose pronouns work best in Microsoft? Raj/Neat.
Rajib.
I hate you so much.
Well, look, this is interesting. It's interesting because we called it back then that this was all just a bunch of bullshit that they're doing.
Wokeness is a trend.
Yeah, like, not only that it was a trend. It's not only about wokeness, bro. They took this to the stock market, and now it became if you're trying to IPO your company, we need to see how diverse your board is, and people start creating up Wall Street.
Diversity hires.
This is our chief of grass. She's a woman. That's what the fuck they did. This black man, he's our chief of janitorial expertise. They made up all these positions just to add diversity hires that they never give a fuck about.
And they diluted the quality of
Exactly.
the company or their employees, basically.
Because you're forced to make decisions that you don't want to make, and it costs you a lot of money.
Here's our chief sassiness officer, Shaniqua Jackson.
And she's pure white
Yes,
from Alabama.
yes.
No, but saying capitalism caught up, basically. This is what it tells me.
Capitalism always wins at the end of the day.
Capitalism caught up. Capitalism's like, yo, y'all wasted. Nobody's buying.
This affects a lot of people, by the way, right? And I'm not saying that this was a positive or negative thing. I think companies are always going to do whatever the fuck companies want to do, whether they have to put extra money or not. I think this is a trend in terms of the rhetoric that's been going on since Biden came into office. Never mind even what Trump was saying before that. We're just looking at Biden by itself. Biden was a pushback against everything, right? And Biden never really understood reality for a long, long time.
Much as he understood where I am, what time is it?
If
Who
this
are
person
you?
is my wife,
Who are you?
I'm not joking. He's talking to this blonde lady, and his wife comes, hey, I'm right here. I'm right here. Different blonde, yo.
Wrong
Different
lady.
blonde. Exactly. So when he came around, they started pushing all these initiatives. These I don't know, was it who was the trans whatever Secretary of State or who the fuck was?
The
The person who was stealing purses.
yeah,
and
the
shit.
kleptomania. So I have to tell this to Turks. So
But you said on the podcast before. We already heard the story.
no, I didn't think so. Though,
Then go ahead.
so imagine Turks.
so
The
happy.
light in
He's
his
so
eyes
happy.
would just
Exactly.
shut down. No,
Today,
no,
guys.
I don't think so. I'm going to say it.
Turks, look at the mirror and look at yourself. Now imagine yourself with lipstick and nothing different about you, and you are supposedly a woman now because of this. That was a secretary in the Biden administration that was in charge of like nuclear waste or some shit.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So this guy was caught because he'd go to airports where he was traveling and see luggage. Oh, mine now. He'd take it
What?
off. He'd take it off the tarmac.
I remember this.
We said on the
I
podcast.
remember
I said
this.
it. We said it on the podcast, but he
I
was
remember
too
this.
happy to tell the story.
Yes, and
Yeah.
basically, again, for the listeners now,
This is a throwback.
So when all that was happening, everyone was like, "Yo, no, this is not us. What you're doing is wrong." And keep in mind, the fight between is this a woman or a man happened during the Biden administration. So everybody is fed up, and so now everyone's like, "Okay, this new president's coming to office. We don't need to follow these bullshit rules that we were given in the first place." So how about we just start scrapping shit, and we know we're gonna be good.
Let's go back to the whites.
Yes, and we can also blame it on the stock market might crash anytime soon, so we might as well just start saving some money and cut some costs. So you can play this in so many ways,
Well,
but
see-
this is obviously companies didn't give two shits about.
Well, here, shuf, the idea is, in theory, with the idea of diversity and inclusion is a good thing, right? Because we have seen issues, for example, with software companies that develop things that are exclusively thought in mind for white people that don't always work well for people of color, people of, different
Yeah,
backgrounds.
but companies can still do that while also hiring diversity.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the diversity issue is not the element. The element is the overdrive that it went into where, hey, it needed to be forced into everything and everyone had to do it. It's where that element of merit, it didn't really become as important
My
anymore.
question, let's do a thought exercise. Let's say I am a Saudi company and say, you know what, I want to do what does that look like here, for example?
At least in one way, having an equal share of males and females in the workplace.
That's something you already have. I'm saying we're not talking about equality. We're not talking about opportunity. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about, okay, let's assume you have quote unquote this woke mindset here in KSA.
You can't.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, because we don't have what they have.
We don't have different ethnicities that are represented with different communities.
Yeah, because there they make everything about race and then they're surprised when people are racists.
Here, you're incentivized to do so. And go see. If you hire one woman, it will equal out to 2 employees or something like that.
تقريباً.
Or 4 or something. I have something like that. But so there is incentives for you to hire here. That's why companies do hire. So our world and their world is totally fucking different.
Yeah,
in so many ways.
We have much more.
We only
like,
have 2 genders.
No,
And yes.
I feel there's more opportunity as well here compared to over there. Over there, there's a lot of the opportunities are locked up already.
It's not so much about opportunity. There's more sanity here.
Oh, definitely more sanity.
There's more sanity anywhere outside the Western world.
I would agree.
Anyway,
I would
off to
very
other
much
things?
agree. Off to other things.
Shout out to Sadaya.
You want to go to internet shutdown?
By all means.
All right, internet shuts down. Tell me, what you guys, what do you want to talk about?
I am so not surprised and yet completely dumbfounded by how something, by one small software update, can shut down half the world.
So you believe it's a software update?
I mean, you tell me.
Conspiracy Theory Sunday.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you understand.
Okay, so apparently what the company said was that, hey, we were doing a routine maintenance and someone zigged when he should have zagged. And whoa,
Wow.
cascading effects all across airports and hospitals and businesses.
Basically, their statement was, did I do that?
So what was the company's name?
CrowdStrike.
Okay.
Right?
Yes,
CrowdStrike?
yeah, this is
Yes,
CrowdStrike.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does the company do?
Cybersecurity.
They sound like an esports team.
Okay. Remind me
I'm
who
trying to
CrowdStrike
recall.
were.
Ew.
Do y'all remember this name before
Yes.
someone said this? Who?
Yes.
Who said that?
Okay, so this company apparently was involved during the last elections.
Oh, wait, I found the clip
There
from
you
Donald
go.
Trump himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Paid for it, and the Democrats. A lot of it had to do, they say, with Ukraine.
But, Mr.
You know, it's
President-
very interesting. It's very interesting. They have the server, right, from the DNC, Democratic National Committee.
Who has the server?
Now, the FBI went in and they told him, "Get out of here! We're not giving it to you." They gave the server to CrowdStrike or whatever it's called, which is a company owned by a very wealthy Ukrainian. And I still want to see that server. You know, the FBI has never gotten that server. That's a big part of this whole thing. Why did they give it to a
This was from the elections.
So basically, what he's saying here is when the DNC hack happened, okay, the FBI, instead of investigating themselves, they ended up giving the server to CrowdStrike because they're a cybersecurity company in order to investigate if there actually was any breaches from the Russians. Now, the problem with that is that this is a company owned by a Ukrainian. So obviously, there is going to
But
be
it is
bias.
an American company.
Sure.
Yes.
Not denying that, but there's the implication here is that there's going to be bias towards the Democrats, obviously, and they're going to stir up shit against the Russians because obviously they hate the Russians. And now this company is now suddenly responsible for the shutdown of global travel networks. What the fuck? Do you have any background from your end?
like from my end,
Yeah.
or you want to go off my vibes and feels?
Absolutely.
Because I cannot tell you because
Vibes.
because I'm going to sugarcoat a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you questions.
We love questions.
I'll just ask questions.
Let's
You
open
know,
our minds.
Just,
about doing.
just questions.
I'm just asking questions.
Yeah. Like
Have you considered that?
my question is this: what would happen if you had 5 big servers connecting the world and you disconnect one of them?
Fifth of the world
No.
goes down?
You will have 4 big servers holding up the world. You might do it.
Okay, so we have 4, but what happens when you disconnect one?
Load distribution is gonna fuck up the other ones. There's gonna be lag. I'm guessing some people will lose.
If I have
network,
wireless transmitters in my house to extenders in my house, right, and I disconnect one of them in one of the rooms, then that whole area is not going to have Wi-Fi, right?
yeah,
Correct.
It's interesting.
it's interesting. It is interesting.
It's interesting when a server gets taken off.
So it's one server that was taken off.
It's
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm asking questions here.
It's almost
But
like
what's the benefit?
it's almost like power is concentrated.
Oh, look, I don't know about the benefits, but but
snap.
sometimes
So sometimes you want to prove an example, right? You want to say, "Hey, I have an idea. Let me see if I can test out this idea." But I don't want everybody to know what this idea is, so I'm just going to test it out on a small scale just to make it seem like a small mistake. Like, hey, for example, if I figure out a way of shutting down the entire power grid.
So this is a weapons testing exercise?
I do not know. This is like just vibes here, guys.
Might be.
We're just asking
Honestly,
questions.
if this proved anything, it just proved how fragile the world is, honestly.
It is.
And I think this is something we've all known for a long time is the fact that, hey, the fact that we're all dependent on internet, the fact that so many of our services and key infrastructure elements are based online. And that can be taken out so easily. And we never really thought about it because nobody really had the capability.
I know no one ever had the capability. Do you remember Ukraine when all of a sudden their power went off?
I was just about to say the examples that we saw over the past 20 years happened first when Russia attacked Estonia. That was the first time you really saw that happen and play. And then it happened recently during the Ukraine war where
No. This is before all that. This is during Crimea.
Crimea, there we go,
Yeah.
in 2015.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, you've
They
had
shut down their internet?
they shut down their power.
Like everything in the
Everything?
country
They shut
go
down.
off.
They shut. طفوا النور.
Wow.
طفوا النور. Okay.
أخذ السلك وراح البيت.
Okay.
Yo.
And then a bunch of little green men showed up out of nowhere. They had tanks. Nobody knew where these tanks came
Wow.
from, but they're really very well provisioned. But damn, homie, that is
It's crazy.
a
It's
thought.
crazy.
That is a thought.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And obviously, a company like CrowdStrike can't come out and say, "Yo, we don't know what the fuck just happened here." So they have to say, "Whoops, my bad."
Software update.
Yeah, I dropped the ball. Malik, never gonna happen again.
They're not going to say I dropped the bomb because that's too
No, but
explosive. Too on the nose.
The amount of lost money, like just the amount, thousands of flights were canceled across the world.
People were writing their boarding passes in pen and paper.
I saw that.
Like people were stuck in
Yeah.
airports for like 12, 13, 14 hours. Okay,
Which countries did it affect, by the way?
It was European countries mostly.
It was the U.S.
India.
Germany, and I saw someone in Germany.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Germany.
okay.
A little bit in Europe.
Yeah.
But it was like
Interesting.
highly congested in one area, like ridiculous.
The US.
Like I'm really hope the Western world got this together.
Okay.
This- if
so we
any-
know where that came from.
So no, this is not how this
What?
works. Because
I'm asking questions.
because capitalism says don't spend money on safety and redundancy.
But what happens when you're not part of that capitalism?
I don't give a shit about your capitalism.
Oh, really?
son. Yeah.
What happens when I can't use Swift?
I can burn this shit down because I don't give a fuck anymore.
ما تخلوني ألعب.
No, but
That's
but
balls. Okay, that's balls.
بولع في الملعب. بجيب كلينكس بجيب
If I'm not
فنار.
playing, none of y'all playing.
No, but if anything, برضو, this is a problem without an easy solution. There is no solution for. There's no short-term solution.
No, there's
for
a
this.
solution for it. There's a
Short
number
term.
one there's a number one cybersecurity company in the world. It's called Sadaya.
You know?
Right? It's not even a company. It's bigger than that.
It's an authority.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sadaya have been killing it over the last 10 years. Less. Even way less than that. And so Sadaya was like, yo, we vibing, bro. I don't know what's happening with y'all.
We Gucci.
If y'all go back to like during the time when Sadaya first came out, we had this discussion, right? And I was telling you, actually, we were discussing that having a company like that for what you're trying to do as a country is very important because you always need to protect yourself.
So Sadaya is the cybersecurity authority in Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's a cybersecurity. There is. But Sadaya works on another level. It's above everything else. Sadaya is like, I need to figure out what's going to happen if it's going to happen. Rather
In terms
than,
of technology and
it's proactive, not reactive.
okay.
And so having Sadaya as like a main thing was very strong in order for you to protect your country in so many ways.
And the key word that you just said here is proactive rather
Exactly.
than reactive. I know when you look at the way technology is set up, like so many companies are built on legacy systems with softwares that have not been updated in 20 plus years. And the guy that wrote the software is already dead and there's no documentation. And they're like, yo, we don't know how this works. It's like magic. Okay, الرجال قال اضغط 1 2 3 وبيشتغلوا, and that's what we've been doing for the past 30 years.
The entire world is basically hanging on a single Excel sheet in Arizona for some reason.
No, legit, and this is not a joke. And if anything, this entire attack is an example of just how fragile,
Vulnerable and fragile.
yeah,
Everybody
the
is.
entire system is. And when you have a company like Sadaya that's actually proactively thinking ahead and trying to figure out, okay, what are the gaps? What are the holes? What do I need to plug in? How can I rebuild my infrastructure to be more stable, to be more resilient, to be more, consistent overall, and not to be reliant on external sources? I think this is the most important one.
And also, when you are in a country where there's a government that really cares about every single movement and infrastructure, you kind of can build something like this in-house
It's called the holistic
rather
view.
than giving it to a foreign company. So you mean to tell me, as an American, my data is in the hands of a corporation?
Capitalism.
It's capitalism. It's the hand of capitalism. yeah,
Exactly.
but
But
That's
safe
the most
hands.
American statement that you've
exactly.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I am a government that I'm supposed to govern these people, and their information is vibing with someone else.
But corporations are people, but don't you know this? Corporations are people.
Corporations are people, so you don't sue them.
Yeah, no.
But that's a secret. I said the quiet thing out
For the
loud.
sakes of for the state of the law, okay. Corporation is people. Pepsi is a man.
Pepsi man.
Pepsi is a man.
All right, so I'm glad that the internet is working for everybody again.
Okay, so it came back up again, and everything is just hunky dory, and we're just gonna pretend like this never happened.
Exactly, because it never
Because
happened.
it never happened.
Nothing's done.
Because in the grand scheme of things, the global economy is fine, about dude. We're just gonna keep chugging along. Chug.
Speaking of chugging along,
You will.
it's very hard for me to talk about Houthis, right? Because they are a militia that doesn't care about its own people, and they do really stupid shit. And a lot of times it's fucking funny to me. Okay, I cannot take these people seriously no matter what happens,
Okay.
right? And I love the fact that how Houthis know that outside of the GCC, no one knows who they are and how they act. So they take them very seriously. And around here, around our block, we just giggle.
Because we are aware.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when Houthis come out and say, yo, we're going to destroy Israel, we all giggle. Right? All of us just giggle. And then yesterday, there was a drone that hit an apartment building in Israel, in Tel Aviv, right?
Specifically.
And there was rumors that other areas were also hit. Nothing is confirmed. And they came out and they're like, yo, we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Okay. Houthi said that.
I did.
They
I
claim
did
credit.
it.
Yeah. Like they were like, yo, we did it. So we remember when Begeg happened, right? We knew that it was Iran who did it. Because there's no way in hell Houthis can pull that off, right? But they're expecting us to actually believe that they sent a drone throughout the whole Red Sea, through Egypt, through Saudi.
It was swimming, pardon. Okay, it was swimming.
It was a swimming drone?
swimming بعدين طلع.
So was it part of the Olympics?
كان في البنتاثلون. Yes.
So that's where Michael Phelps was.
ركب خيل عشان يوصل.
Pentathlon drone?
Yes, exactly.
مخزن ها
إلى تل أبيب.
تل أبيب. Right? So we all know this Hezbollah. We all know. Let's not act like we're dumb.
But
we
that
know,
scared them, didn't it? That scared them out of nowhere. Like they just really got their shit.
What happened exactly?
So basically, this drone had an apartment building. There
Yeah.
was a couple of injuries, and I think one person died. And then the entire global media said, "Oh no, Tel Aviv is now under attack.
Poor Tel Aviv.
Poor Tel Aviv. We are under danger. Our way of life is threatened.
Subhanallah.
You know, their way of life is threatened." Turks.
And so they thought that, yo, since the Houthis want to play ball, let's play ball. We thought they're going to take their time to do this shit. Today they bombed the shit out of Hadida.
Oh, على طول.
Yes. Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, it is wild. So, again, I don't know if this is a fact or not. It was Israel and Italy. Italy provided the fuel
Okay.
for the F-35s
And the margaritas.
and the pizza. Right? Give them a bunch of lasagnas and pastas. They're like, here's some fuel also.
إيه فجأة what the fuck? Okay.
Carbo loading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carbo load. Okay, that's a good one actually. So they brought in their plane to refuel the jets when they got over there. When they got close, they refueled and they came in and they dropped 10 bombs in Hadid.
Bro, what are they even bombing in Hadid at this point?
Well, do you recall when Saudi was at war with the Houthis and it was like in its prime? It was us, the Yemeni government, and a bunch of like 10 people from UAE or something. And then like we all went in like, yo, we're getting this done. And then how the Yemeni government, along with the whole coalition, they were pushing forward to Hadida.
Yeah.
And then the US was like, yo, you're not allowed to enter Hadida.
Yeah.
And then we told the US, yo, if we enter Hadida, it's over for Houthis. We can actually end this war, put the legitimate government back in place, and we can move this forward.
And they stopped it in shock.
And the US was like, nah, we want this to keep going. So no, you're not allowed to go in. If you go in, we're going to do stupid shit like we always do.
Because more war is better for business.
Exactly.
Okay.
Guess what Israel bombed in Hadida?
The oil
The
refinery.
more war company.
Oh, stupid. They bombed the port.
Oh my God. So the fucking port that they've been saying for years, this is
Yes.
untouchable because humanitarian grounds.
Yes, sir.
See, again, oh my God. Okay, what else?
Everything that you
And the
can see in
airport.
place. Airport, the port, the seaport, a couple of refineries, and a couple of businesses that has weapons in it.
So one drone equals taking you back to medieval times,
Yes, sir.
basically.
Right now, everyone's panicking. I was watching a lot of videos from
And
Hadida.
it's fine. It's fine.
Of course,
It's
the
fine.
place that we were supposed to actually go get and catch so we can move this away. Now it's okay for again, we're
The way
watching
of-
what they do in Israel with the Jewicide. So
Badul.
something new.
Our way of life is not threatened. Their way of life right now is being threatened. So it's a different consideration.
Different consideration.
Very different consideration.
So yeah.
The hypocrisy keeps hypocrising.
Well, again, Americans are stupid and Israelis are stupid. The thing that they don't understand about Houthis don't care about Yemen.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep doing more fucked up shit as long as they can get away with it, and they don't care if it costs all the lives of Yemen.
Fun fact: during the war, qat production went up, which affected actual crops,
Okay, productivity.
which protected the production of actual crops because fuck your food, we need qat.
We need more money, basically. And honestly,
Told you. All bad news today.
and
Welcome to the bad news podcast.
the hypocrisy keeps hypocrisy, honestly.
As always, as always. All right, let's get to the main thing before we bounce out of here. Trump's assassination.
Attempt.
So last week,
You mean future President Trump?
yes, last week we wrapped up the podcast.
American Patriot.
I walked you down, right, like a child.
And we waved it at each other.
As you drove off, right?
Literally what happened. Okay.
I come back. I just get upstairs. Adam sends me a message. Yo, Trump assassination on TV right now.
And history is made.
History was
History
made.
is made.
History was made.
And
made,
history could have been so different. Honestly,
It's
this
so
is
dark.
Yeah, this is one of those moments that really, like, subhanallah, it's a split second would have made a world of difference.
It's one of those moments that you actually believe in God,
Yeah,
because whatever happened, we'll get to the conspiracy theory in a second, right?
that's what could have happened.
What could have happened with worse?
What could have been so
And
much
the fact
worse.
that Rabbi decided this is not his time, and it was just
Hama.
you can't describe this. You cannot describe this in any way, shape, or form.
You showed me
There's
the
no way.
holograph of the
If
head
it's-
turning.
The head turning.
Exactly. Oof.
So let's tell everybody what's going on. If you didn't
طفي
catch
النور،
up,
طفي النور.
no, before we get there,
Okay.
Okay, if y'all didn't catch up, okay, first off, let me give you some more light. I was sitting here in the dark. If you didn't catch up, there was around 5 shots that happened around. I don't know. Was it last Saturday?
It was
last Saturday. It was last
Yes.
Saturday.
So there's a guy on a rooftop during a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, I think.
that was 150 yards away.
And apparently he's a 20-year-old registered Republican who has a Trump sign on his front yard that took
But it's his dad's, I think.
a couple of shots at Trump and missed.
Yes,
Or
but
technically not missed. He didn't get his target, which
Yes.
was in between the eyes, but he got his ear. So basically, he injured the former president.
all right. So let's break it down real quick. For everyone that's saying that this is a setup, that this was what they wanted to do, and yada yada to on, there's people who died. Those
Yeah.
bullets hit multiple people, and multiple people died. So once that happens, this is not a setup.
Here's the thing.
You can't stage this kind of thing.
As a conspiracy theories are one thing, but I don't think we should allow conspiracy theories for اشطفني برصاصة.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
also for the guy that died, what's his name? Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name, but
Shooter?
yeah, no, not the shooter. The guy, one of the guys,
One of the guys who was there for
the
Trump rally.
fireman who was protecting
the
his
fire-
family and
yeah,
got
yeah.
killed. I want to say this to his family. You'll get over it. Japan did. So,
Yo, that's cool.
do you want me to explain to you why?
Please,
Do you want me-
please,
I'll explain to you why. Because he commented under a picture of Gaza saying it was a picture of Gaza being destroyed, and he said they'll get over it. Japan did.
Fuck that shit.
So since he doesn't give a shit about us, I'm not giving a shit about him this time. Fuck him all. But anyway, that is true. All that happened is real. Now, conspiracy theories are us. Okay. It's good to
Completely
spoil
off your bad dude. Completely.
hold on.
We need glow in the
Hold on,
dark for this
hold on,
one.
Hold on. I'm gonna say this really quick. The CIA planned it, yeah. I don't care what anyone says. This was planned as
Like
fuck.
they do all assassinations.
Yes.
Yes.
This is their vibe.
This is literally
this is their MO
The CIA was made
for this kind of
to
thing.
kill leaders of foreign countries. Okay, the amount of foreign country leaders the CIA has actually gotten rid of is terrifying.
You can't tell me that you left an open area on a negative slope building where even the people in the area won't be able to see that there's someone's behind there. You can't tell me for 2 minutes people are screaming there's a guy on top of a
And they
building.
called the police.
You can't tell me that a cop went up, saw him, the guy pointed the gun at him, then the cop ran back down.
هذا شكله خوينا.
Do you know what makes it worse? You can't tell me it's not a setup when in the back where he was sitting, it was the command center. That's where the county police, the city police, the state troopers, the Secret Service were all lined up.
This is
is stupid
but
crazy.
listen, honestly, like in terms of let's just assume for a second that this was a fuck up. Okay, let's assume that for a second.
Oh, they tried.
In terms of breach of security, how many people need to get fired for this shit to actually get fixed?
All of them.
Oh, no, all of them getting fired, period.
You know?
No,
Yeah.
all of them getting
for real,
fired.
for real. I'm not even kidding.
Somebody needs to take
Because
the
this
dro-
is not a joke. Like
There-
we are,
Somebody needs to take
we are
the-
talking
There
about a
is-
former president.
Hold on. There's a guy who's ex-Secret Service that I saw him talking on a forum. And he was talking about the difference between what the president gets and everybody else gets. He's like, Trump was asking for more people. The problem is everyone that just got hired, it was diversity hires, it was all these things that the Biden administration was trying to do, right? At the same time, they didn't have enough people on staff. So they gave him people from the
They gave him
Was it the
the
NSA?
C class.
basically they gave him the lowest one, right?
Tarbiyah. Okay.
What was JFK's brother who was running RFK?
RFK.
So RFK was already complaining that I'm not getting enough security when he was trying to run for president.
Yeah.
And this is recent.
And the worm ate that guy's brain, so he needs security.
Okay, all right, stop. So anyway, they already had these issues and they know how big Trump is. But when you leave an open site that big, right? And then everyone doesn't know what to do when that happened, that tells me there's more behind this than what you're trying to tell me.
That tells me that there's some people who have intentionally left some gaps in the system just to make it seem like, hey, there's nothing we could do about it. But I think there's something called malicious. What was it?
Malicious compliance.
Malicious compliance, or where you do something, you do some
Thank you.
things
I was
way,
the only one lit up.
you do some things way too well just to be able to say, yo, I just followed I followed it to a T.
No. Malicious compliance is not following things too well. It's following things exactly as it is. Like I see a random 20-year-old on a roof, but my superior didn't give me the go-ahead. I ain't doing something.
Okay, no, let's park this because I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to say this, but anyway. So if you are on the Secret Service detail and you are guarding whoever you're guarding, if you look at the video of the sniper that was sitting on top of the building and how he was looking at him and thinking should he shoot or not, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then there's a guy who's ex-Secret Service who was explaining, he's like, listen, we're at the height of police brutality. And let's say that was someone's kid that climbed on the building, just wants to see this future president. And then you go and you, as a sniper, you shoot the fuck out of him.
Kid,
and now you killed a child. So you needed confirmation for yourself. But you as a sniper that was sitting up top already have the green light if you saw that it was danger. So the question is, you know that he had a weapon. So you should have made that shot. You shouldn't have to wait for him to make the shot. There's a guy holding a weapon that you're saying you can't see him properly, but a cop went up there, already saw him. He already talked to people down. It took the cops forever to get to that building.
Well, here, come on, there's another question. Do they have the same communication networks? Will the Secret Service have their own communication channel? Police
Everyone
have
has their own communication channel, but all of them, they have
a command
one,
center.
Exactly. One person from over there for the command center to talk for everybody else.
He was getting a donut, Bardul. Homie was getting a donut, right? It was taking a little bit too long, you know.
The thing is, when what you were saying before we started was like, yes, we were like a hairline away from a civil war in the U.S.
Basically.
And everyone's looking to say, okay, a civil war in the U.S., we shouldn't give a fuck about it. No. If that happens in the U.S.,
We
it
will get
affects
hurt.
everybody.
Everybody will get hurt.
Exactly, because that's how stupid.
Because that's how the world economy is built.
Exactly.
You know, it is built on a guy that leads everything. If the guy leading everything is not leading everything, then everybody else is going to feel it.
Yes. And now they were so close to something that could have been very bad for
Bro,
everybody.
Shuf, honestly, I made this joke to you last time I saw you, and it's American president getting shot. This happens once in a generation, and it actually does. Like you have this incident happen. Reagan got shot, Roosevelt got shot, JFK got shot. You know, there's a bunch more in the 1800s that got shot after Lincoln.
Got shot.
No, after Lincoln, there's a bunch more.
There's a
that got
bunch
shot.
more, yeah.
You know, so it's not. Like I can't think of another country that has had this many incidents of people trying to kill presidents. But then again, that goes back to
It's called culture.
the culture. Yeah, I mean, the gun culture.
Please refer
the,
to amendment number 2.
The permissiveness of everybody owning a gun and all of that. But at the same time, he's already elected. Do people know this? Have people acknowledge the fact that he's already elected?
After
He's already elected.
Hold on.
I'm calling him President Malheen.
everyone's calling him president.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this. After he got shot, right? This is how I know this man is built. This is something that he's built for.
Yeah.
Because the second when you get up, you tell them, yo, listen, I know you need to move me out of here, but I'm putting on my shoe. You didn't care about what's happening. And at the same time, you're like, no, wait. I need to put this is the moment. This is my moment. Why? Because, and I think in his head, he already imagined something like this happening. And in his head, like, yo, how cool would this be if this happens? What will I do in that situation?
I don't think any, honestly, when something like this happens to you, do you even process what just happened?
This guy said, you know what?
Do you even process that someone, like my ear is bleeding, someone shot at me?
My ego is that big.
Yeah.
Yo, I processed 100. I've been waiting for this moment.
Expecting a shooter.
Exactly. He was playing. Where you at? Get the ear.
Duck it, bobbing and weaving.
This guy in the middle of all this chaos said, you know, hold up. Let me throw up some gang signs right quick.
Exactly.
Honestly, that was a powerful moment. I'm not gonna lie.
That photo with
Watching
the fist
That was real.
Let me
with
tell
the
you,
flag in the background.
my friends and everyone in the States, like, we're talking in the group, so I'm trying to get everybody's vibe. I've never seen all of them aligned being pro-Trump in my entire life.
Because Adil, in a country where everything is manufactured, everything is fake, and you can't really tell what's real and what's not, you just saw this happen right in front of you.
Not only did you saw it happen,
Like,
in front of
and
you,
it's
you
visceral. It's visceral.
'cause you always heard him talk. You're like, yo, man, this guy talks a big game. But you saw after he got shot, he got up and he stood strong, fist in the air. I'd be like, yo, no, this guy is it.
And you compare and can we
He is that guy.
yeah, and you compare, he is that American patriot that strong man that I
That's
would be.
America.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is America.
Okay.
He is America. He
Like
is.
the only thing that was missing from the whole event is for some weird reason, like there's an eagle flying somewhere, like somewhere in the background,
Imagine he shot an eagle and the eagle dropped on top of him.
and landed on his shoulder.
Exactly. With the fist. No, that's that. Honestly, that was like I said it to you. That's history. Like that was a moment in history.
That
This
was the
is-
most American moment I have ever seen in my life.
That was America.
The
America.
whole
That was
the
the
whole
whole
combination,
America.
all of it. Yes.
Well, a credit to the photographer that got the picture. Honestly,
Yeah, I think it was the
that,
New York Times.
That guy is gonna get paid.
That's a picture for life.
Yeah, that is a picture of life.
But him standing like that, bro, that he automatically.
But man, at
Yeah.
this point, the question.
I'm not gonna say who here said this, but someone said it and put it publicly. Is like he's so gonna fucking win.
Yeah.
That was his note.
No, he's. I'm saying it. He's gonna win. Like following this, if anything is gonna give you a ratings
It's
boost,
done. No, it's done. It's done.
yeah, it's this. Man.
The next day, the voting was 70% to Trump.
And
The whole country was like, "Yo, we're with that guy."
And let's not forget the fact. I don't know if you guys saw the Biden interview that came out recently.
Yeah.
The man is very clearly not there. Very, very clearly.
And every time he
wanna
comes out,
you
No,
wanna
no.
see something-
They asked him a question.
No, no,
Can you give us an example of your mental faculties? And he just ranted for 30 seconds about mental is great.
I'm not gonna ask you to tell me how he is. I'm gonna ask everybody that's supporting Donald. No, that wasn't
Biden.
Biden. Go look at him when he was running against Trump just 3 years ago.
Look at the difference.
Look at the huge.
Look at the difference. Yeah,
Two
the
different
man has
people.
deteriorated. He's no
no
longer.
energy, nothing, no charisma. The guy is just a walking corpse. Let that man rest.
We can't about do it.
Yeah.
This is the American tradition. We will milk you.
Democracy.
Yeah, we will milk you out until your last breath.
And to put a pin on this, that this is the most American thing ever. The shooter's last search was for porn. Right? Because
They found 3 accounts with him. There's a rumor now that there's a foreign player in all of this. Again, I don't want to do conspiracies and shit, but that's what's been
You
going
don't?
around. I'm just saying. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy.
No, you're not.
And I'm not.
What does that even mean? Adil?
Exactly. All I'm saying is they took the shot, they didn't get it right, and now they got to live with the consequences.
We're all going to live with the consequences. We just entered a new timeline.
Also, another thing, you said this is a historic event.
I think it is.
In the last 10 years, how many historic events did we went through?
Way
There's
too
too
many.
many.
Exactly.
Way history has been speeding up, yo.
Like writing history right now, it is wild.
The 90s maybe were boring, okay? The thousands have definitely not been boring, but the 2010s and 2020s so far have been way too interesting.
Plot
Okay,
twists.
first off, I must say this because you need to understand this because I know you do, but you might have forgot. The 90s was not boring.
Talk about you had
No, let me finish. Let me finish. The problem was we didn't have social media.
yes,
But this fuckery has been going on forever.
okay, fair. So I was thinking in terms of the 90s, and you had the Gulf War in the beginning of the 90s. That was the one big, like, kind of global event. And then
How many wars do we have this decade?
the whole Bosnia, Yugoslavia wars, nobody really cared about those.
what do you mean nobody cares?
It
about
was
those?
very much
A
like
genocide happened.
It was in terms of global interest, it was kind of like medium level compared to Iraq, for example. Iraq had an entire global coalition behind it. This was a European affair, let's put it that way. But since the 2010s, since the Syria and everything that happened before that, everything that happened after that, and what's happening now with Palestine.
9/11.
He's just skipping.
I'm talking 2010s. I'm talking 2010s.
I've never seen someone cherry pick violence.
I'm talking 2010s. I've been 2010s, that period.
No,
No,
sorry.
you
No,
jumped
no,
from
no, no, no,
90s
no, no,
to
no.
2010s. Like there was a
Well,
whole.
It was all bad. It was all
Yeah.
bad. The 70s, the 60s was bad. The 50s was bad. The 40s was bad. The 80s were bad. The 90s were bad. All of them were bad.
We have one good decade.
We can't, son.
We can't have
because
one-
that's human nature.
We can't have one good decade.
No, we can't.
This is
son.
why we can't have nice things.
No. When you allow a country like Israel to do whatever the fuck it wants and you back it up, we will never have a good thing. Because you're allowing violence to happen because you need violence for your economy. And as long as there's violence in the world, we keep creating violence and we keep winning. Because who's going to fund the violence? Their people. Who's going to win the violence?
Capitalism.
Their people. Yeah. It just goes back and forth to the same exact thing.
hell.
You're not gonna change when you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. There's no change.
Don't expect different results.
Yeah, don't expect. Trump is gonna come in. We're gonna have the same bullshit, the same drama that we all had.
But this time, he's going to be better at it. I hope he's going to be better at it.
I don't think he's gonna be better. At it.
I hope he's going to be able to figure out
Did
a
you
way
see his clip
to not
on-
get distracted by the bullshit that Democrats are going
He's
to
a
throw his
changed
way.
man. What are you
Did you
talking
see his? Yeah, he said he's a change.
A more experienced man.
Did you see his clip on the golf cart? I love Saudi Arabia.
No, was that-
Another thing that I'd like to say this before you bounce, and I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna take another hour from people's time, but everyone's saying, "Oh, the Saudi Arabia is lucky that Trump is getting back into office," right? I want to tell everybody because people tend to fucking forget. We don't give a fuck who's in office. We've never did before. Everyone thinks that we actually like benefit from these people being in office. We don't benefit. We just know how to move our shit.
We don't run our policy on 4-year cycles.
Not only that, we stand on business when it comes to our country nonstop. I was talking to someone about this, and I don't want to bring it to the podcast because we're about to bounce, right? But I don't think Saud gets the credit that it deserves for what it's done over the years.
In terms of
If it was anywhere else, they would talk about that dynasty,
definitely.
and that,
True.
and that, and that, and that, and that.
Definitely.
But no one is going to talk about the dynasty that kept this whole region intact
Bro, I don't
for
think
close to 100 years.
I don't think people have actually, like, people are not aware of the historical context and the waves of the eras that we have really lived through from the 30s and the 40s all the way up to this day. Like, the amount of drama this region has went to. Like, some people don't even know that, for example, we were at war with Egypt and Yemen in the 60s. Like, they don't even, like, what? When did this happen? The amount of things that we have had to go through, from revolutions to coups to assassinations to terrorist attacks, like in everywhere from Riyadh to Jeddah.
All of our kings went through wars.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Every single one of them went through wars.
So definitely the credit that for this political dynasty, that what it has built and what it has achieved in less than 100 years is nowhere near being given. They're not gonna write our story for us, Adil. We need to. No, that's what I'm saying. We need to write our story. We need to tell our story to our people.
We
just
always
so
tell
we
our
know.
story to our people.
You know?
right? The problem that we have is that they're trying to make sure that our story will always have dents in it because this is what they require history to have. So they don't say, yo, you are as powerful as you think you are. We know that during the Arab Spring, we couldn't do jack shit to you. We tried. We did our best. We just couldn't touch you. We couldn't get people to think about democracy. We couldn't attack your people in any way, shape, or form with social media. We couldn't even go and fund other Saudis to talk bad about Saudis and get people aligned. We couldn't do shit to you. We just couldn't. But they don't want you to look like an actual wall that you cannot penetrate because it doesn't feed them. What you
Because
think
it
you
doesn't feed their agenda
Exactly.
and their narrative.
You want me to come out and say, yo, I can control this world except Saudi Arabia. I can't do that. No, because it shows weakness.
My liberal Western norms will be the savior of everyone except those Arabs because they are too savage and barbarian to understand. They're not like us, but
And that's why when you say we need to write our own history, we don't need to write our own history because they're already eating up the minds of other Arab countries. Like when I'm sitting on social media and I'm watching people's comments, right? Everybody from every country, we have people that hate us and we hate them. That's normal, right?
Yep.
Because everyone's different. But the amount of hate and false information. Look, if you want to hate me, give me a good fucking reason for you to hate, and I'll have an argue with you. But when you're fed false information and you use that as facts to move forward and try to basically make us all look bad, this is where our patriotism comes in because you are born knowing that they're going to attack you. You are raised knowing that these people are going to attack
they're
you.
already brainwashed against
So
you.
we're all already programmed that the second you speak on us, we're on attack mode on you because we know who we are. We know what we built. We know how this region functions. This whole region is blessed by us also. And I'm saying it in a way that, you guys are lucky. No, the blessings that we got from Rabbi, we moved it on to other people.
True.
And so this is what we always move. And I don't think a Saud will ever get that credit. But if no one is going to ever say it, I don't even think Saudis even think about it, especially all these people who want to be so westernized in
Because
life.
it's not part of our nature to. Yeah, it's not
No,
part of
no. It's not because it's part of nature. No, it's because we have no problem of talking about any dynasty and saying, oh my God, it's amazing. Bro, we speak about the Ottomans as they were fucking prophets.
No, I'm talking about that.
Let me finish my fucking sentence for once in my life, bro. We're about to go on vacation, okay?
Okay.
we talk about every single thing as if it's amazing and awesome, but we never mention anything that we do. We never did. Even when the country comes out publicly and saying, yo, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, we're standing for Palestine. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 5 behind the closed doors. They were so public about it. We were never trained to think that we actually living through a dynasty that is so powerful that it bent everything around it. And that's something that no one wants to fucking recognize and no one wants to actually understand. But there should be in our history books more details of how we rocked shit up, how we moved shit around, how we made these powerful countries bend the fucking knee whether they liked it or not. We saw a president come out and say, I'm gonna make this country a pariah. And then we saw the same fucking president walk into my country, to my land, and come to my crown prince like a little bitch and give him a fist bump. After all that shit, no, that alone shows you how powerful we are. But no, we should not talk about how powerful Arabs are. We should not talk about how powerful Saudis are. We should talk about all the other Arabs and their histories and the Egyptians and all that bullshit. But when it comes to actual people that we lived through and we've seen, no, we should shut the fuck up. And no, suck my dick. I'm not shutting the fuck up when it comes to this. And this is going to be the last episode basically for a long, long time. So that's why I'm saying this out loud. So fuck yeah, we out. Peace!
Peace.